Okay, so today we're going to talk about the biggest obstacle you'll face in any major challenge. And it's not how steep the climb is or how long the road is. Nope, it's the 6 inches between your ears. So let's get into it. The mental toolkit you absolutely need for any climb, whether it's literal or, metaphorical.
And, this quote from Henry Ford, it just nails it. It's really the perfect place to start because it gets right to the heart of it, the raw power of our mindset. It's the engine, right? It's what decides whether we're going to push forward or just give up.
All right, I want you to picture this for a second. You're on a long, really grueling uphill slog. Your legs are on fire, your lungs are screaming for air, and then that little voice in your head starts whispering, "When is this going to end? It's too hard. I can't do this." That conversation in your head, that is the real mountain you have to climb. And look, that's really the core idea here. In any huge test of endurance, I don't care if it's climbing a mountain or finishing a massive project at work, the real battle is psychological. Your body can handle so much more than you think, but only if your mind is on your side.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. If you ask veteran mountaineers, the people who do this for a living, they'll tell you that a staggering 80% of the whole experience is mental. 80%! I mean, think about that. That's a huge number, and it tells us exactly where we need to put our focus.
So, where do we even begin with this mental training? Well, you start with the most fundamental question of all. What is your why? This is that deep down reason you're even taking on the challenge. Think of it as the high-octane fuel you're going to burn when everything else is run out.
No, seriously, just take a second and think about it. What brought you here? Why are you pushing yourself so hard? Figuring this out isn't just some nice little thought exercise. This is a survival tool. It's critical. Because when things get really, really tough, you need to be able to tap directly into that source of motivation.
And your why is going to be completely unique to you, right? It could be anything. Maybe it's a competitive drive to check peaks off a list. Or maybe it's a deep personal connection to nature. Or maybe you're doing it for someone in your family. The point is, whatever that reason is, that's what you're going to draw on to turn a painful, miserable slog back into a meaningful journey.
Okay, so now that we've got our why locked in, let's start filling up our mental toolkit. These are the practical, in-the-moment strategies you can pull out when that negative voice starts getting a little too loud.
First thing, and this is huge, stop looking at the entire mountain. Seriously, the sheer scale of it can be completely paralyzing. The trick is to break that enormous journey down into tiny, achievable, bite-sized goals. You only have to focus on the next immediate step right in front of you.
And this little cycle here is ridiculously powerful because it's so simple. You just tell yourself, okay, all I have to do is take 50 good steps. That's it. Then you get a reward. A quick sip of water, you take a second to look at the view. This simple little rhythm of effort and reward, that's what makes an impossible-feeling task suddenly feel manageable.
All right, next tool in the kit, your breath. Think about it. When you start to feel anxiety creeping in, your breathing gets all shallow and fast. Well, this practice, pranayama, is all about consciously taking back control of your breath. Taking these deep, intentional inhales and exhales sends a powerful signal to your brain to just calm down and stay in the moment. It's basically your body's built-in reset button.
Another really powerful tool is just language itself. A mantra is a short personal phrase that you repeat over and over to yourself. It's kind of like having your own personal coach right there in your head, giving you the exact words of encouragement you need to push through a really tough spot.
And you know what? The most effective mantras are often the simplest ones. Things like one step at a time. They don't have to be some profound piece of philosophy. They just need to be able to cut through all that mental chatter and refocus your energy on the one single thing that matters, moving forward.
So everything we've talked about so far has been kind of reactive, right? Tools you use when you're already struggling. Now, let's get proactive. Let's talk about visualization. This is the art of using your imagination to actively shape your physical and emotional state.
This is just incredible when you think about it. Your body, it doesn't really know the difference between something that's real and something that's just vividly imagined. So if you sit there and visualize failure, really picture it, your heart will start pounding with anxiety. But if you visualize success, if you feel what it's like to stand on that summit, your heart can pound with joy and excitement. The point is, you get to choose which movie plays in your head.
Now, when you put it all together, your why, your physical training, and all these little tools in your mental kit, you can reach this state that climbers call transcendence.
Transcendence.
It's that peak flow state where everything just clicks. It's when your self-discipline and all your practice just takes over, and it lets you move with confidence even when you're facing fear and uncertainty. It's that feeling of really surpassing your own perceived limits, of becoming more than you were when you started.
And in the end, it all just comes back to this timeless piece of wisdom, doesn't it? Great, huge achievements are never the result of one giant leap. No, they're the sum of thousands of small, consistent, and mentally focused steps.
So I'll leave you with this to think about. We all have mountains in our lives, challenges that just seem totally insurmountable. The question isn't whether you're physically strong enough. The real question is, what's in your mental toolkit, and are you ready to start the climb?